and welcome to another 2-Minute PD. I'm Austin.
I'm Lane.
And I'm Trevor.
And we're going to share with you some differentiation strategies for a student who's deaf or hard of hearing in the physical education environment. The first thing we're going to discuss is proximity. Proximity in a gym setting is obviously very important, given the loud noise volume that's in the gym, particularly for a student who's deaf or hard of hearing.
You would never want to instruct your students standing this far away.
So does that mean you should be this close?
More like this. You want to be far enough away from the student that you're respecting their personal space, while at the same time standing close enough so they can speech read or read your lips. You also want to make sure that everybody else in the class is involved in the conversation as well. Now let's pass it over to Lane.
Thanks for that information there, Austin. Another important concept to think about when you're dealing with students who are deaf or hard of hearing is that of line of sight. You want to make sure that there's a clear line of sight from your mouth to their eyes. You also want to make sure that your instructions are clear, simple, and specific. This eliminates any sort of guessing game that may occur if you're using slang terms. You know, in this situation you might say, less is more.
I'm just going to take some of your time now to talk to you guys about visuals. So, like I said, there's 3 main steps in this process. The first one, you want to try to give your visuals to your students beforehand. This will give them some time to look it over, come up with any questions they might have, and actually process and register what you're going to be teaching that day. And then the second step, give appropriate time to view the material. This will not only help your students with deaf and hard of hearing, but also help all the other students in your class as well. By giving them the appropriate time, it allows them to process the information and they'll be able to focus on what you're saying. Which leads us into the third step, making eye contact with your students before you continue teaching. One strategy you might consider using is the wait for 8. This is where you take about 8 seconds to give your students some time to look at the information in the visual you've provided before you start speaking.
So you guys might want to ask the question of why are these steps important? Well, these steps are important because it makes for a very inclusive classroom. Not only does it benefit students who may be deaf or hard of hearing, but it can benefit all students.